back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So today I want to talk about the money lessons that the coronavirus is teaching us, that COVID-19 is teaching us. So let's get into it. So the first money lesson we are all learning is that we need to have emergency savings. We need to have emergency funds. Usually experts say you need to have at least 3 months to 6 months of funds, of emergency funds, just for anything that may happen that you've not planned for it. So yeah, so many things are happening. You see, economies are slowing down, pay cuts, people are getting pay cuts, you're seeing all around, people are losing their main source of income. So yeah, if you had an emergency fund, you'll probably be able to live within 3 months, 6 months. You would probably live while you think about what your next move is going to be. So yeah, it's pretty much important, even when you have this when you have these pandemics, that we have savings. And yeah, so usually people would ask, okay fine, so how much is this? Just 3 months to 6 months. If you don't know how much, if let's say you use all your salary in a month, then you probably need that same salary for like 3 months or 6 months saved up. So first of all, you shouldn't even be using all your salary. You should be saving some. So yeah, you need 3 months. If you can make it 6, even if you can make it a year worth of savings for just emergencies, because you don't know what happens. You don't know what can happen tomorrow. You don't know how much of your business can be affected. You don't know, you could probably get a pay cut. So yeah, Corona is teaching us that we need to have our savings. We need to have planned for events like this that we don't think might happen but can actually happen. The second thing that coronavirus is teaching us is to watch out on our lifestyle. So many times we find that our lifestyle expands as our salaries expand. So let's say your salary was 100,000 and your lifestyle matched that 100,000, but then again, if your salary doubles to 200,000 or to 500,000, you find that your lifestyle expands as well. And as it expands, there are things that you do that might probably not have been the best thing to spend on your money. Probably you'll get a larger house, probably you'll move to an area where you pay more rent now that your salary has increased. Probably you'll get a bigger car, a fancy car, probably you'll get a loan for a car. So now that things are slowing down, we are having to rethink about some of these expenses. Was this house really necessary? Is it really right that I'm paying all this rent? Especially sometimes when you find that you have all these costs that are fixed, but yeah, and you can't do much about them. So if you find like, okay fine, maybe you have rent that you're paying for, or you have school fees that you're paying for, and so many things are fixed, but then again, maybe your salary, you are getting a pay cut. Maybe you're getting a 10% pay cut, maybe you're getting 20 or even 50%, or maybe you had your own business and now, like in South Africa, for the past 35 days there was a lockdown. Most businesses are closed down except for essentials. So, and we are having to rethink our lifestyle. Whether is this necessary? Is what we are spending on really necessary? You find you have some gym membership, you always eat out. So we are having to rethink. We are having to really rethink about what is necessary, what is discretionary spending, what is important, what is it that I can live without, can I cook every day at home? So yeah, Corona is teaching us that maybe some of these expenses are not really right. Some of these expenses we should not be having them, but we've been having them, so we are being forced to cut down our expenses. Another thing that the coronavirus is teaching us, another finance lesson, is that we probably need to have multiple sources of income. Yeah, you can't really sometimes you just can't rely on one source of income. You need more than one. Probably you have a partner, and yeah, you probably need to have more than one source of income, because you never know what will happen tomorrow. Maybe that one source of income may be cut off. You just imagine if you just depend on, maybe you just depend on your salary and then now you have a pay cut, or you just depend on one, you have a business and then now you are forced to close your business. So it is really making us rethink of, okay, what are our sources of income? How can we diversify our sources of income? The fourth money lesson that the coronavirus is teaching us is about diversifying our investments. You there's this saying that you shouldn't place all investments in one basket. You should put them in different areas, because you don't know what can happen. Probably you've invested in stocks and then stocks probably have fallen, or you've invested in real estate and then you don't have a tenant, and all your tenants cannot pay now because probably they don't have any source of income now. Also, it is really making us rethink of, okay, what are our sources of income, where are we investing in, and how can we diversify? So it's really good to diversify. Even so many of, you see everywhere, like the hospitality industry is really affected because people are not traveling. The airline industry is affected. So where are your investments, and have you diversified them? Can they handle this shock that now the economy is having so many shocks? Can they handle this? So we are being forced to think about, yes, it's good to have all these investments, it's good to have all these properties and whatnot, but also sometimes you need to diversify. Sometimes you just need to place funds in maybe places where they earn low interest, but they are safe. Even you might just have even cash. You don't know, cash, yes, then have interest, but sometimes if you don't have a source of income and you have real estate and there's no one is paying, maybe that if you had cash, it would be, you could use it and it could save you more than some other sources of investment. So we're really thinking about where our investments right now, have we diversified? And we are seeing all this, if we didn't diversify, well, we're being forced to rethink, okay, what is the way forward? So the fifth lesson that the coronavirus is teaching us is about budgeting. We are being forced to get down back and say, okay, fine, this is the amount of money I have. How can I spend it wisely? And yeah, so that we don't spend on things that we are going to regret later on. Because I think at this point you're thinking of, okay, how can you stretch this money? Probably you have 100,000, you want to stretch it as much, so you have to budget for it. You have to think about what is necessary, what is important, what is not necessary, what can wait, what are these things that I used to do and maybe now I can do them and I can do them myself. So yeah, before I used to twist my own eyebrows, nowadays I twist, okay, fine, I can't go anywhere to twist, but it's also making me think, what is it I can do to save my money? And yeah, even on budgeting right now, when like you go shopping, it's best to have a list. These are the things I really need. Look at your fridge. These are the things I really need. I don't need to spend more money while I have this and this and this. And yeah, I made a video on budgeting and how to budget. I think I'll leave a link here. But yeah, I think in the end of it all, let us pray. We at this moment are just hoping and praying that we come out of this alive. And after this, there are so many lessons we're going to learn. We are probably going to be more cautious about how we spend money. We are going to be cautious of where we spend money. We are going to be rethinking our hobbies. Is this a hobby that I can afford, or is this something that I was just doing because of peer pressure? So yeah, it will be interesting to see what decisions we're going to make after this whole pandemic is over. But there are so many things that right now we're being forced to rethink. So many things we are having to go back to our drawing board and think, okay, fine, is this necessary? Is this spending necessary? What could I have done here? Probably you had your savings, but now you're thinking, fine, I should have saved more. Instead of saving just that 10% of my salary, I should have saved even 20, because if this happens, what am I going to do? Or we are having to think about, fine, maybe your lifestyle has expanded, now is matching your salary, but if your employer cuts down, if your employer cuts your salary, what am I going to do? Can I still live? Can I still survive? And yeah, so these are the questions we're asking ourselves. These are the money lessons we're learning. And let me know, guys, what lessons have you been learning through this period? What money lessons, what lessons are you thinking that you should probably study them further and take them forward? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.